So actually, let me turn on my guidelines. All right. So here, as you can see, I have this setup as a 1/3 also. Now, granted, I have the divisions here, and then I have this, what I would consider, because again, if you look here, this is the area that's cut off on most of the filming. This would be all black in most of the filming. In PowerPoint, we don't necessarily have that area, so we can fill it, but it's not as important as these 9 quadrants in here. This is almost keeping like what's called a lot of times a title safe area. So in other words, I'm not going to put anything that's important above this line or below this line. Everything that is important has to be within these 9 squares, or excuse me, 9 rectangles. And for your typical 16 by 9, the measurements, and again, I'll make sure I include this. I put a little note in here for you. This part came from Make a Powerful Point. As you can see in here, is the bottom. This measurement is 9.2, and then see it's 9.2 for the horizontal lines. So this line and this line are both 9.2 because again, PowerPoint zeros here, and then it goes 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. So it's 9.2, and this one is also 9.2. Go to the vertical. Let me see if I can grab it clearly. Oh, let me zoom out a little bit. Might be a little easier. Okay. 2. Ooh, I think I just moved it. I just moved it again. Well, it's close enough. Because again, it doesn't have to be perfect. It's 221 for the vertical. So 221 this way, 221 this way. And now you've got these quadrants here where you know where to put things. Now, one thing you may or may not notice here is I have the guy here intersecting right here on this part of the quadrant. Drop a little circle in there, might be a little easier to see it. Right in here. And I probably actually want to put it, let me fill it in red just so you can see a little bit better. Bump it up a little bit. Okay. So as you see, I have the guy right here intersecting on the red here. He's looking this way. He's clearly looking at his laptop. But what I did is, besides obviously looking at his laptop, I have the words I want that are important right on this side, which is how safe is your network? This way, again, if we took this, we duplicated it, you can see right here where it intersects. Right here. Clearly, again, dominating this area. How safe is your network? And if you notice here, again, depending on what I was selling, if I was selling, say I was a company that dealt with job placement, I might have moved this over here and the person a little bit more over because I want them to more emphasize the person. But if I sold, say, software services or hardware services, well, definitely software services, let's duplicate that one. I'm just going to put them in all 4 corners there so you can see it. If you noticed, I put the word network right here because I'm selling software services. So I want to make sure that you understand that our software is going to help make your network strong by putting it right here. So again, he's looking down here, he's looking at his laptop, but guess what? Inadvertently looking towards your network. How is the problem that I'm proposing? And if you notice, again, I have this in red because I want you to think about that. How safe is your network? Well, guess what? Your network will be more safe if you bought our software or whatever it is. Or if you hire our people because he's a security expert or something of that nature. But again, he's looking out for your network. or software is looking out for your network. But you only can think about how safe your network is if you ask yourself, how safe is it? That is one way to take the rule of thirds and kind of use it for what to put on a slide. And the other good thing about the rule of thirds is to also keep you from putting too much on your slide. Because if I have 4 points, I'm probably going to have an image and some text. Well, guess what? If it's an image, it's probably going to go into one of these areas or off one of these areas, depending on how important I want it to be. But again, only one image can dominate the slide. I've only got 4 points. I'm not going to have 4 images. And if I do have 4 images, I'm going to drop them right in this area. And that means they're going to be of equal importance. Because maybe I have 4 criteria of what somebody has to do. So I'm dropping them there. And that's okay. But again, that will still stop me from putting a lot because I know I can't have more than 4. I'm not going to have a slide like we showed that the one from Microsoft where they had 21 icons on a slide. That's ridiculous. There's 4 points, no more than 4 icons. Can't happen. I have a text call out here. Again, I'm showing the dominance of this because this is occupying 2 of these major points on this 4-point slide. How is important, and network is important. Drop the network right there. Following this will help you really cut down on how much information you have on your PowerPoint. Because it tells you I can only have 4 images max. And if I do have 4 images, I probably can't have any text on it. And if I do, it's going to be very small, or it's going to be an icon or an image with the text embedded in it. But only 4. That's max. One key point on the slide. Again, Kawasaki in his famous 10-20-30 rule, or say in Duarte's slideology, they will tell you, one major point per slide. Now, obviously, if you're teaching a class, and I've taught plenty of classes where I've had to teach, 2 weeks straight of a class. If I'm teaching you a process, I can't necessarily have one point on a slide. But you can. So in other words, if it was, say, to log into a area, the main point might be to log in and then the 3 or 4 steps that go along with it. But the lone image would be maybe of the first set of login screens where you log in. And even if I had several points on how you log in, like put your cursor in the text field, type in your password, hit next, type in your username in the field, hit next, type in your password, hit submit. That could go right here to dominate this right side, and I'd probably have just one image, maybe 2, of what the username field looked like around this image, around this dot in this area, and then 1 for the submit area, maybe. And even that might be pushing it. I'm not saying I've never done it, because I have done exactly that, where there'll be multiple steps. There might be 8 steps on how to do something, and I'll have a login screen, and I'll have, maybe not the submit, but say it was something like, make sure you have your monitors turned on, and make sure you turn the key to start the machine. 2 images, because again, 4 quadrants, 1, 2, 3, 4. So 2 images, and then a dominant text box here. Very short bullet points on how to do said thing. So use this when you're creating your PowerPoints, and you'll find that the rule of thirds will really help you make better PowerPoints, not just to create visual interest and create movement, but also it will stop you from putting too many things on the slide. It's really good for that, because you will think, well, I only have 4 quadrants. I can't put 50 words on the screen. No, that's a Word document, not a presentation. So I really want you to think about that and use this when you can. And I will actually put this as an asset for you, and then you could just take this and import in these guidelines here for yourself. I'll leave the measurements in here, but again, I'll put these guidelines in there for you, and then you can use it and set as your default for when you're making your master slide or whatever, and then you're going through and designing your images to just to make your life easier. But this is a really I use a rule of thirds for every single thing I can, and then I make the client, like for instance, because it happens where the client says, "Oh no, I have to have more words on it." Now I usually tell them no, or we can put a couple more words, and I try to do an in between. But if, again, sometimes clients say I have to have this on there, and I can't make it two slides because again, if you have more points to say, then make a second slide. Um, but in general, this is what I follow. And they'll almost always say, wow, this looks so much nicer than what it was before. And again, simple rule of thirds as far as what goes where and how much you put on the screen. All right, hope that was helpful to you. I will see you on the other side. Bye.